Iconoclast Speaks.
Hello and welcome to the Iconoclast Speaks. I am the Iconoclast,
Dad bod.
Dad bod, and I've upgraded my drinking to beer this time. So
I like it better when you introduce me. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I like introduce myself. It feels
Okay.
weird. It feels like I picked the name.
yeah, but you didn't.
I did pick the name.
Yeah, you did. Oh, that is, yeah,
I did.
Right. Yeah. Well, you said it, and your wife said that sounded dumb, and then F-boy and I voted yes.
I said that I wanted that one, and I had a couple of other ones which were just like totally crap.
Yeah.
But I like that it's like self-deprecating and
Yeah.
also pretty accurate.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty accurate.
So, and you're a dad, you have a bod. There you go.
No.
And you have
I'm
a
a dad.
bod.
And I know I have a dad bod.
Yeah.
Big time.
Well, you're the dad, you have a bod, and you have a dad.
I know a lot of people see me.
Just from
Everybody knows me already, basically, that watches this video. But
Yeah.
the people that don't know me from before, from here up, when I'm wearing baggy clothes, I look
Can't-
pretty. I look
You look
huge.
legit,
I look
man.
pretty good,
Yeah.
man. But
Take
the
those
rest of
clothes
me is
off.
disappointing.
Yeah. You don't have to take the. I mean, F-boy took his shirt off.
He
but I'm
did.
not
I
telling
thought that would be funny if
Yeah.
I was like sitting there next to him, just like, just like with my gut hanging out.
What are you doing? I don't know why he
What a
did that.
jerk.
Like, I was just like, Anyway. So we're going to talk about reboots. It's like TV shows, movies, or TV shows that were rebooted into movies. Mm-hmm. The good, the bad.
Are we gonna do books too, or is that different?
Well, no, not books, because, I mean, that happens all the time.
That feels like a different. That feels like
That's
a different topic
time,
anyway.
yeah. But I'm talking like for instance, like
Movies that were movies that became movies
again, or even TV shows that became TV shows again, like Hawaii Five-0. Also, TV shows that they turned into movies, like the Brady Bunch TV show, they turned into a movie. Like my issue is a lot of times they take these like TV shows that were, in my youth, were cool,
Yeah.
in my head, and they like revisiting them. They're not necessarily that great, but then they turn the movie and they turn it in like a goofy comedy, like the A-Team, like TV show when I was little. That was so cool, even though they never killed anybody. So then they turned it into a movie.
So the A-Team was totally serious. There was
Yeah,
no
it was-
slapstick.
There
humor
was
at all?
Murdoch.
Because the thing with Murdoch, he
that
was
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
And
B.A. Baracus
B.A.
was
was always like, I can't get on the planes.
But it wasn't as slapstick funny as they made the
Okay.
movie. So
Because when you originally said that, I thought you were talking more about like Chips. Or
well,
like
Chips
Starsky
the same
and
thing.
Hutch.
Yeah, Starsky and Hutch, Chips.
Yeah.
But the Starsky and Hutch movie, like I barely remember the TV show because I was still kind of young. I do remember seeing it, but
I was also a little too young.
yeah. But the movie was hilarious, and I like the Starsky and Hutch movie. But I like Ben
was,
Stiller
yeah.
and I like
Owen
Owen Wilson.
yeah.
I think they're hilarious.
I like your style. I like your moves.
Yeah,
that
so
was a silly
I mean they're funny, and it was
a
a
good
funny.
movie.
But like Chips, for instance, that was a serious show, and they could have made a cool, serious movie with it.
I don't think so.
No, they could
The
have.
time's wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying if they really thought about, worked it, they could have made it a better. But they made it this really crappy movie that was more dumb
Yeah.
than funny.
I feel like there's never maybe not never, maybe that's too harsh.
What?
I feel like there's a lot less just like serious movies where like tough things happen.
Yeah.
And it's either it's this out of control, cars flying through the air, people with like huge
Yeah.
biceps like punching holes in people,
Right.
or it's like goofy.
Right.
There's no kind of just generally serious
Now,
except for what was that one with Clint Eastwood? That was good, where he's an old guy. That was kind of
which
generally
one?
serious, but nothing really crazy action happened. With the car, Gran Torino.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was trying to think of what that was. Well, another movie the Dukes of Hazzard. The old TV show. Then they made.
The old TV show was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
It was totally ridiculous.
But they made the movie, which to me didn't do it justice.
Uh-huh.
I saw it, and I had issue. I had a hard time believing it. It was just weird, like Willie Nelson being, and it was just weird to me. And I was trying-
Johnny Knoxville's in it too.
Johnny Knoxville, out of all the things,
Yeah.
was the only part that was he did a great job of playing the.
I like Johnny
I can't
Knoxville.
remember which guy he was, but he was
He's one of the brothers, right?
yeah, he's one of the brothers,
yeah.
but he did a good job, and he wasn't distracting. Like Willie Nelson to me was distracting.
Because you're like, oh hey, look, it's Willie Nelson.
Yeah, and then what's her name, who played Daisy Duke?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we know who it is.
Yeah,
Let's move
the
on.
singer girl.
You guys all know.
Yeah. Anyway, she was distracting and not in a good way. It was you're like, okay, that's her. She's trying to act, and I wish they would have found a girl who could actually act.
Right.
and
because they exist.
Yeah, they do. You can find a pretty girl that can act, and she just
They just aren't.
it
Like,
was
singers
because
that don't
she
have,
was
like, the-
popular at that time. She had her like reality show.
They also released the song.
Yeah.
It was like I think it was like about the same time. I'm pretty sure it was like these boots.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh, yeah.
Walk Out on You.
Yeah.
Is that that?
Yeah,
I forget.
it's the
I
same
think
girl.
that was
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. Jessica Simpson. There we go. Thank you. I think we hit at the same time.
I think we did. Yeah.
But yeah.
John
So,
Stamos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like a successful reboot, I think that has happened was Full House. Now they have Netflix has Fuller House, and I know a lot of people like
It's
it. Like
so
I was
cheesy, just like the original.
Yeah.
It's so I love it.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing is like Full House was a cheesy show. Fuller House is a cheesy show.
In almost exactly the same way.
Right,
It's like
so-
very nostalgic, but in a very new and original way.
Right.
I love it. I can't say enough good things about that.
Now a lot of people take like the Star Wars. They'll say what we have now is a reboot, but I don't really consider that a reboot. I consider that a continuation of the story.
Yeah. Well,
And so
the
it is a
only-
reboot, but it's not. It's not a full reboot.
But I'm totally okay with it because it's they tried to do too many new things that made it different.
right.
But then when they went back to kind of like that formula,
Yeah.
so I mean, there's only like a certain number of ways you can tell a dang story. So
Yeah.
they just told it in the same way that worked before with kind of like all the context and everything like that. And it worked great. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the new one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have no problem with that.
I was going to the bathroom with my little brother. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I was in the movie. I was in the movie with my little brother, and I looked at him and I was like, "Hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom." I was like, "When's a good time for me to go?" Because he had already seen it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Never. You have to hold it the whole time."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like,
And yeah, I don't think.
And he was right.
Yeah, there is no.
it was totally worth holding it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that too. Like, not at that movie, but other movies.
Yeah.
Now recently they rebooted Death Wish. Now,
Right.
I remember the original with Charles Bronson.
My-
And then I've heard bad things about the reboot. Although
Really?
I think what the problem.
in it? I know
Bruce
nothing.
Willis. Bruce Willis is playing.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
Have you seen it? Is it good? Did
No,
you-
I haven't seen it. No, I've
okay.
seen commercials.
Okay, so
He seems like he'd be good at it.
yeah, I mean it's kind of like Die Hard, and
Right, but it's like old man Die Hard.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
See that I still do want to see it, and I think what the problem is, people are like thinking either they have such a nostalgic view of the original one, which for me,
That they're, like,
I don't
not
understand
giving it
why
a
you would
chance.
have such a nostalgic view of Death Wish, but
Death Wish 1 through 12.
whatever it was, it's like, I mean, it was a fun kill movie, you know, and then now it's being redone. The story's changed a little bit. They've done this and that. I've seen people argue like the whole Death Wish versus Punisher, and a lot of people it's really funny. Like younger people are thinking Death Wish. Oh, they're doing that because the Punisher show on Netflix was so popular. Like they don't even realize that Death Wish was a movie long ago.
Right, yeah.
And the other thing they don't even realize is the book Death Wish came out 5 years before the Punisher was ever a comic book character.
Really?
So Death
pretty
Wish
cool.
came out first, and
Dibs.
then so it's a very similar story, like Punisher and Death Wish, like the backstory of
Get some
both.
sawdust on your shirt.
And what? Well, I mean, your
You got it, good to go.
place is full of stalls.
It's totally full of dust.
Now-
still in the workshop for those listening.
Yeah, but the one like I've heard, there's rumors of like they're trying to do a reboot of Gilligan's Island.
Boo.
Yeah, don't. I hope they let it go. They did do a reboot of Scooby Doo, and that one, and well, they've done multiple. I mean, they did the original cartoon. They've
Who was Dax Shepard? He's in it.
yeah,
right?
yeah, and
Is
but
he?
they
I think he's.
and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar
Yeah.
and Linda something or other. She's the mom in Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2. She plays Will Ferrell's wife. It's funny. I know so
haven't
much
seen the
useless
second one.
knowledge about
Yeah.
movies.
I haven't seen the
I can
second
just
one.
blah, 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 and then people are like, what? And then some of
I
these
didn't-
movies I haven't seen. I
didn't-
just know about.
I didn't like Daddy's Home. I thought Daddy's Home was seemed like a really good idea, and like I
Have you-
liked the whole dynamic. But then when the digital slapstick part of it totally threw me off.
What
big
did?
time.
Yeah, when he's on the
Where, like,
skateboard.
No, there's a bunch of them. There's
Yeah,
different things where like you can tell it's like obviously just like
Yeah.
digitally added in because
Yeah.
there's no way that
He could physically
actually do that right. And it's not a stunt man. It's
Now,
just
have you seen Daddy Home 2?
no.
I just saw it it's hilarious. It's
Is it really?
so much funnier, and there's
Right.
not as much as there.
The
Actually, I don't
digital
think
slapstick?
there's any of that in it.
'Cause that
I mean,
was
they do a lot of
totally-
slapstick in it.
Because
but
I'm good
it's
with
not-
regular slapstick.
No, I mean,
but like it's funny because the person's actually being hurt.
yeah,
right.
and,
It's
well,
not
this-
funny if it's
like
just like some
there-
guy
I mean,
types.
there's
and then,
some over the top slapstick, but you can
Yeah.
see that they used a real person,
Okay.
not necessarily Will Ferrell, but
Maybe
it's
I'll
not
give it a second
digitally
chance.
done. But check out that someday. I mean, also it's funny because you got Mel Gibson and John Lithgow in it. And,
Yeah, they're funny.
I mean, they're hilarious together because they're complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
But like Scooby Doo's been rebooted like cartoon wise as well as movie. The movie wasn't bad, but it's. Sorry, I touched your
You
leg.
touched my leg. It was
yeah,
weird.
Yeah, that's an awkward moment now. Sorry, it's the beer. I don't normally drink beers. I drink.
Oh, okay.
when I'm on
That's
there,
okay.
So it's changed, and we're in a very romantic garage.
It is. There's a lot of ambiance.
And but like, is there a show that you would like to see rebooted? I mean, we've
Into
talked
a
about-
show or into
or like a TV show that you liked. You'd like to see it back. I mean, Transformers movies, cartoons. The cartoon for me was better than the movies. But like, is there a show from your youth that you recall that you're like, man, I wish they would do that again, bring it back?
I think Beastmaster would make a really cool kids movie.
Oh, that would be cool.
I
That was a
think so.
great. That was a great series.
I know that I was a child when I watched it,
Yeah.
and it was probably complete garbage. But
I mean, I have good memories of that too. though.
loved that show.
Yeah, I mean, with
That show-
like the ferrets, the black tigers.
Yeah, the tiger, and
Oh,
then he
the
had like he
eagle.
could see with the eagle. Yeah.
It was like great.
Yeah.
That
He like lived in the woods.
Yeah.
Or like it was the jungle.
I mean, he was like Conan with animals.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be a good kids movie.
Now for me there's a show. There's two that I think of off the top of my head. Tales of the Gold Monkey,
Okay.
which was, you'll have to Google it or Wikipedia it. It took place during right before World War II in the South Pacific. The main character was a
Did
pilot.
World War II like happen?
Not
during
yet.
The show.
No. It never
like,
got to
just
that. It was only 2, maybe 3 seasons. I can't recall. But it was such a fun show. It was very Indiana Jones like,
Okay.
and they were always going on
Nice.
these adventures. And Stephen Collins was the main character, who I know is a bad guy, and he's in jail. But
Is he in jail?
Or he's being prosecuted or something. Yeah, he did some bad
He's one
things.
of those.
Bad Hollywood guy.
One of those.
So, but this was before we knew about that, and he played a really cool character who was a pilot, flew a seaplane.
Oh, nice.
And it was a Golden
Those are
Goose,
always
I
cool.
think was the name of the plane.
Nice.
But he would go on these like adventures, and the characters were so cool. It was very exotic and just fun. It was a fun show, and every week was just this fun adventure.
I think that's why I liked Xena also.
Oh, Rob, yeah.
And then what was the other one? The other was similar to
Hercules,
that. Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I watched all those shows.
Yeah.
I think I just liked watching shows with people that were like really
Now,
jacked
Bruce Campbell
without
was in
shirts on.
both of those movies. shows.
Really?
He was
What?
the
He was
King
in
of
Xena?
Thieves.
Really?
Yeah, he played the
That's
King of
awesome.
Thieves. He was in both, and he was in both shows.
That's
because they
cool.
would cross over every now and then.
Right.
And but he was the king, and I love Bruce Campbell. And,
Yeah.
And now they've done a reboot where he was in Evil Dead 2, Army
Mm-hmm.
of Darkness, and then they did the recent reboot movie Evil Dead, which wasn't as good because it wasn't like they were like. The thing about the originals is it was very campy, over the top. This they tried to make more of a scary movie as opposed to a campy scary movie.
Yeah,
but then
Netflix.
now they've rebooted it via Ash versus the Evil Dead, which is on Starz, which is like it's a half hour to hour long series, and it's following his character now. He's middle age, well, he's beyond middle age, but he's older, and
But like he's still like
now he's still the
still has,
same
like, the-
same jerk he was, but now he has a daughter, and like
Oh, really?
it's
he's still
hilarious.
like what's that? The Necronomicon.
Yeah. He still can't pronounce things. He like still messes everything up, makes horrible choices. So he's the same character, and it's a great series, and they did a great job with it.
That's cool.
But
I'll
another
check it
show
out.
I'd love to see is, you may not remember it, it's called Manimal. All right. Now in that series, it was a dude kind of like Beastmaster, but this guy could turn into animals,
Oh, okay.
and so
did you ever read Animorphs? They were big when I was little. I read a lot of Animorph books.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I don't remember those.
Yeah, these guys like they turn into
Yeah.
They morph into animals.
Cool. Well, that's what this was, but is one guy, and he could turn into any animal.
Okay.
And like he'd be solving crimes. It's like, I need to turn into a panther now, and that would help him for whatever.
These dudes, like in Animorphs, they they'll have like their own like a team, and they turn into like one animal.
Oh, cool.
Super cool.
Like I'm a leg. Yeah.
Like there's one guy who's like a hawk.
Oh, cool. Like
Yeah.
it. That's fun. So, like, I think what I think, like, when we do reboots for certain shows, or I wish Hollywood do, is kind of stay with the spirit of the original.
Yeah.
Don't turn it into, if it wasn't meant to be a comedy, don't turn it into a comedy, because in a way
that's why it was famous. That's why you know about it enough to make it to remake it.
Right.
It's because of the feel, not necessarily the exact storyline.
Right. So, like Hawaii Five-0, like, it was an old TV show, and they've rebooted it, and it's very similar in the feel that it's, they didn't make it a funny series. Now it's still the cop drama.
Yeah.
And I've heard that also they've been talking about doing a reboot of Magnum P.I., and if they do that, I'm hoping that they do it. And I wouldn't mind seeing it if it's done right, because I loved Magnum P.I. growing up. It's very nostalgic. I was very young, but it's, to me, nostalgic, because I loved
That's also,
the
I'm
series.
almost 100% sure why I like Fuller House.
Because of the nostalgia.
I have
the way
no
they
idea,
did it.
like, if I showed it to, like, I mean, my daughter's kind of young now, but if I, like, waited a little bit and showed her, like, Fuller House,
Yeah.
like, if it would play.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, she might be like, I don't get this.
Do your kids watch it?
They have seen a few episodes. My wife watched it with. I was never a Full House fan. My wife kind of was, I guess. And
She should be.
yeah, I'm gonna give it a try just for you.
Good.
So, what about you guys? Is there shows you wish they would reboot, or shows you wish they hadn't rebooted, and why? If you're listening to us on Apple, iTunes, or Google Play, check us out on Facebook. It's the Iconoclast Speaks, and we're on Facebook. Join our page. Join in the conversation. You can actually watch videos of us doing the podcast and see where we're at, because we kind of move around. So this week we're at Dad Bods.
It's all my stuff.
Yeah.
It's not all my stuff, but
yeah.
it's a pretty good amount of my stuff.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by. Peace.